Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. I gotta say it, just the mere fact that you have clicked onto this video and you are listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness, what a week it has been. I have been MIA, but I feel much better in spite of these allergies that have been taking me out for some time. So I'm back, and I'm hoping that you're excited about it. And I have a topic that I want to talk to you about, which is the clown of the day, or shall I say the clown of the day. You see, I want to tell you guys a quick story. I remember the year of COVID when I was trading in the market, and there was so much pandemonium because no one knew what was going on. The stock market was crashing, and it was just chaos everywhere. And I was a young trader in the market with some money. And when the market started to fall, I said to myself, oh my God, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm a short seller, which means I'm going to buy the stock to sell it at a lower price. And I thought that it was a genius tactic because why not? America was failing in my mind at the time. That who's going to figure it out? Who's going to figure this COVID thing out? And the stock market was going to crash and it was going to be epic and I was going to be filthy rich. This is my thought process. So there was a particular stock I decided to invest a short position on. And it goes by the name of Salesforce because my thesis was, why in the world would Salesforce perform well as a stock in this market if people are getting laid off and companies don't want to spend money, on and on and on and on. And lo and behold, I put my position on right before earnings, and the earnings report came out. And do you know that as I salivated off of the thought of all the money that I was going to make, that Salesforce had its greatest earnings report in history for Salesforce. And that stock shot up so fast and so fucking hard that I lost $10,000 overnight. Yes. 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 I lost that money and I was like, what the hell? And I remember waking up the next day and I was like, there's no way in hell that this stock is going to continue to go up. Maybe, there's going to be some type of realization that we're in COVID and the stock is going to fall. But no, it just kept going up the very next day. And I just could not believe it. But when I look back, hindsight, right? When I look back, it made so much sense why it would go up. But when you don't know anything about how economics works, how interest rates work, how debt works, how supply and demand works, how bonds work, forward guidance, all these different things that you hear when you watch things like CNBC and you read Bloomberg and you read Yahoo Finance, and you're just listening and digesting, and you're not too attuned to what's going on in these spaces. It sounds like a whole bunch of gibberish. But anyway, the reason I say the clown of the day is because when I think about how many people over the course since Trump had announced that he was going to put the tariffs on, how much fear mongering there was prior to. How much fear mongering there was already regarding the economy of the United States. We had already had the battle between conversations with Trudeau and Donald Trump regarding tariffs. We'd already had the threats against Mexico. We'd already had all these things going on. And lo and behold, Trump announces that he's going to put tariffs on the world. And the stock market fell. It had already been falling, but it fell further. And people began to salivate, the short sellers, just like me in the year of COVID, began to salivate. Oh, I'm going to make so much money. A lot of these hedge funds, oh, I'm going to make so much money. And they looked at their screen and like everybody knows, don't count your fucking money until it's closed, until you sell out of your position. So everybody's looking at that screen and thinking to themselves, I'm going to be so good. I've got so much money I've just made. And they held. And the next thing you know, after that greed set in and they turned into fucking pigs because they didn't sell, got super greedy, it came out that Trump was going to pause the tariffs for 90 days. And the stock market had its second greatest run ever. So tons of people got blown up. And what that simply means is some people had lost so much money this week that they'll never trade again. They're done. They're done. There are hedge funds that are done. There are retail traders that have lost their life savings shorting the market this week. So yeah, very interesting. And you know, there was some other there's been a lot. I've been quiet because I've been dealing with allergies, but I'm back. And there's just so much that's been going on and so much I've been hearing. I heard that $6 trillion was lost in the stock market after Trump announced the tariffs. I just want people to know there's no such thing as a loss. It was a redistribution of wealth. A redistribution. The wealthy took from the wealthy to then put the money into something else. But look how the money came right back after Trump paused the tariffs for 90 days. And my goodness, tariff, stock market. People have been out of their minds this week saying you should panic. We already knew, and we know moving forward that there's just going to be more financial pain for those who had already been in tough situations. But the wealthy, as we see, are just going to continue piling up their money. Doesn't it feel nice to be wealthy? And it sucks to be poor, to be working class. And look, so many people don't even participate in the market. Because one, why would they? Two, don't have the money to play in the market. So the effect of what happened in the stock market didn't mean much to about 50% of the people in this country. Yet you would think that it made so much of a difference in the day-to-day of people's lives. And it didn't. Now, there are a lot of regular retail traders that got a wake-up call this week, like I got in the year of COVID. Yeah. So these things happen. But the fear-mongering of, oh, it's all over and we're going to war with China, get your guns, none of that's going to happen. It didn't happen during COVID. And the Trump administration had blamed China for the virus being here, and we didn't have the war at a time when the world was in chaos and we were vulnerable as a country. We didn't have a war then. Why do we have it now? Why? They want to make you believe that this trade war between the United States and China is going to somehow make the lives of everyone in this country difficult. No, the wealthy would be fine in every corner of the world. But the working class, we know what they're doing to us. We know. And so all this talk about what's next and your prices being higher and higher. Look, inflation is a part of the setup of this thing that we live in, this system we live in. It is intended for there to be inflation every year, regardless. For things to be more expensive every year, regardless. Every year. And we must understand that. We must understand that inflation is a part of the process of making it so people can become more and more wealthy over time. Yeah. So people can become more and more wealthy over time. It's a tax that's built in. So as we move forward, my prediction is that we will see, obviously, more back and forth in communication between the United States and China. But in about a month's time, people forget about this conversation. Something will come up major. It could be a natural disaster. It could be anything. And people will divert their attention from this to that. No one will be thinking about this anymore, except for those who are still in the market and those who've never been in the market. They're not going to be thinking, like, come on, for what? So this game of, and I'm really impressed. It is impressive to watch how Donald Trump captures the attention of everyone more than the biggest celebrities. More than everyone has the ability to change the narrative quickly. But it's all a part of creating opportunities for the wealthy. Maybe there's a silver lining for the working class. Maybe. I doubt it. We're in a complex situation. The wealthy don't want to give up what they have at all. The land, the houses, any of the assets you can think of. They don't want to give any of it up. And so many people in the working class have given up. But can you blame them? But you're just fighting the uphill battle. And even this week, I thought to myself, man, all the people working who put their hard-earned money into their 401k, you're looking to retire, and boom, you got a shock of, am I still going to be able to retire now that my equities have fallen? Am I still going to be able to do that? You're calling your financial advisor. Am I still going to be able to retire? And side note, I know people, this was during COVID, there have been people, these gurus, who have successfully gotten to a point where they invested and made enough money to retire. And when COVID came, and the economy shifted, those very same people that all the while they had actually been able to save $1 million plus to retire, guess what they had to do when COVID came? Go back to work. Yeah, because the prices went up on everything. And they're going to continue to go up. But I will say in this last 3 weeks or so, I have noticed something with those gas prices. I've noticed the gas price. I haven't seen the gas prices this low in a long time. So I did a little quick research, and I was right. The gas prices in my area haven't been this low since right around COVID, which I like because I drive a lot, so I need cheap gas prices. It helps businesses too, to transport things here and there, right? But if I need to summarize this with why I say clowns again, it's because when you've seen it over and over and over again, COVID should have taught us a lot. Definitely taught me a lot in terms of economics, the things that we take for granted, how the narratives can shift and who controls what. I learned a lot. And to see that many people in the last 10 days allowed a man-made assault on the economy take place, and they thought it was an opportunity to get rich going short. It's like, are you out of your damn mind? And the answer was yes. Now, I know there are going to be some of you that are like, oh, yeah, I made some money going short. Yeah, some of us did. But if you held just a little too long, we now know what the outcome was. And I said this a long time ago. I remember saying to one of my good friends, I said, there is nothing on this planet that has made grown men cry more than the stock market. The stock market has brought more men to their knees than kings of old and Jesus. I'm telling you. Yeah. Because the rate at which you can lose money, it's unmatched. I guess maybe scam. If you get scammed, I guess it's just bad, but it's just something about when you put your own hard-earned money in your, you don't think you're being scammed, but then boom, it vanishes, and then some wealthy guy somewhere on a beach, or the guys that he hired, college students, extracted your money, and now they're living better. But these things happen, and we're going to move forward, and everything's going to be okay in spite of the pandemonium to come. It's going to be okay. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for your friends and your family. Be grateful for whatever it is that you have right now, and keep a clear mind so you can stay on top of what you need to stay on top of. It's going to be okay. And like I said last time in my last video, we know what the focus should be. And a part of it is legislative, but it's community, like working on building around you. Spending time with your kids, spending time with your spouse, spending time with your family and your friends, and building from there, we can figure this out. So don't let them get you stressed out. Don't let them bait you with fear. Don't let them bait you into putting your money into a position so they can extract whatever little wealth you have, because they're going to win that game against you. The house always wins. If you didn't know that. Some of you know now. But anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. And please like, please subscribe, please share. And as always, until next time.